Hey folks, Tom here. Tuesday night, I only know that because I just did the yoga class, and I also found out the audio sucks. So I will work on that for Thursday and get something better, and I'll just put the boom mic back on for Thursday nights. Anyway, welcome. If you were here with us on Tuesday and last Thursday and Tuesday, I kind of upped the conditioning a little bit. We're going to continue that tonight, so be ready. Sorry for those just took the yoga class, I'm hurting too, so we'll have a good time and suck through it together. We're also going to do some really good new drills and a new lesson at the second half of the class. So for those new to joining us, thank you for joining in. If you're watching it after the fact, thank you for watching it. Remember to like the video and subscribe to our channel. I'm going to keep doing these. It's just me here. I say this every week and I will say it every time just in case someone worries. It is just me here. We are officially closed, but I want to offer this so we can all stay connected and keep moving. For those in the school, or for those that want to join in, we're going to start hosting just a group chat on Sunday nights when we normally fight. We're just going to get on a Zoom session that we have for the school now and just talk, right, for an hour or so, chit chat. If you want part of that, let me know. Message me offline. Happy to have you join. I don't care if you've never been here before, just want to say hello and see who everybody is, come on board and give it a try. All right, that being said, we're gonna run this for about an hour like we usually do. We're gonna start with some conditioning for the first half of the class. That means push-ups, sit-ups, jumping jacks. That means footwork drills, our cut form, and then we kind of work into a lesson in the second half of the class. So I enjoy it, I hope you do too. If you wanna see something specific or you have feedback for me, message me and I'll happy to do it for the next class or incorporate it into a class that we can. So, with that, let's get things rolling. I would start off every class. Let's do our sun salutation up to the ceiling. Get a nice stretch. Down to the floor, knees, ankles, toes, whatever you can reach. Walking forward, downward dog. Your butt up in the air. Push those heels toward the ground. Stretch the backs of those legs. Dive down, roll up into cobra. Again, stretch that lower back, up into plank. We will do a 1-minute plank at the end of class as we've been doing the last couple days. You do as far as you can do, but I really think everybody can do a minute. Just hold it and you can work through it. Left foot up. Back, right foot up. Back into downward dog, this time chin to your chest, head between your arms. Walk forward, stay in a squat, up on your tiptoes, roll up nice and slow, all the way up. Reach up to the ceiling, stay on your tiptoes, wobbling is good. And then reach out to the walls. All right, jumping jacks, push-ups, sit-ups. 25 jumping jacks, your pace. We'll pause in between, make sure everybody catches up, and then we'll go from there. So, ready? 25, go. $15. 25. All right, push-ups and sit-ups. So, there's a push-up challenge I put out there. Russell put it out on his page. I saw it, loved it. 50 push-ups in 30 days. I think everybody here can do it. I know you can do it. You can do it. I put it up on our Facebook page. It's a nice stage progression. It's actually pretty aggressive, but again, you guys can do it. I know you can. We will live stream it. I think it's Tuesday, May, whatever the first Tuesday in May is. We're going to live stream the 50. So we're all going to do 50 together on live stream. I'm going to open up a Zoom channel. We can put 100 of us on there for the school, and we're all going to see each other do it. So practice. You can do it. For right now, 20 push-ups, 40 sit-ups. We'll stop in between. You can do them on your palms. You can do them on your knuckles. Your choice. So, your pace, just get a good extension. If you're doing on your knees, which is absolutely fine, make sure you give yourself that angle to get a good workout. The closer your knees are in, the less of a workout you're going to get to your core. So get those knees all as far back as you can so you can get a good workout. So hopefully you started. If you didn't, 20 push-ups, your pace, go. Now, sometimes I do them on knuckles, sometimes I do them on hands, on wrists. I'll do them on knuckles the second half we do them. If you don't do push-ups, if you've never done push-ups on your knuckles, do them. They're actually great. It's a good workout. It's actually a nice way to strengthen up your forearms and your wrists as well, which again, will certainly help with sabering. So, sit-ups, 40. Your style, your pace. Just please, as I've been saying, do not go all the way back to the ground and all the way up to your legs. That first quarter and that last quarter give you minimal, I will say no benefit whatsoever. Just stresses your back out. Never put your hands behind your head because you have a tendency to wrench and pull your neck, right? Keep your hands in front of your body, keep your hands out in front of you. Don't put it behind your head. Go down to a quarter down, 3 quarters up. 1 quarter down, 3 quarters up. That'll give you the best workout in your core. If you bring your feet in and do crunches, great. Crunches are great to work lower and upper abs simultaneously. You want to do obliques, leg lifts, wherever you can. I'm talking too much. 40 sit-ups. Ready? Go. Now, if you can do 10, if you can only do 20, good. Do what you can do. Do one more. Push yourself that one extra one. And every time we meet, give yourself at least a push to do 1 or 2 more. Every single time. We're meeting every other day. Your body's got time to rebuild. You should be able to get that one extra out every single time. So, all right, let's do some footwork. As we've been doing, right foot forward, left foot back. Single step forward, single retreat. Same side advance. These are on Thursday we introduced the pulling step or the pushing steps, the jumps forward. So what I'm going to do is on Tuesdays we're going to do the pulling steps, the ones we're going to do tonight. On Thursdays we're going to do the pushing steps, the back foot leading step, front foot jump step. Right? So we're going to rotate days. Today, pulling step for retreat and advance. 10 up, 10 back, right foot forward. Ready? Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Switch feet, left foot forward. 10 more up and back. Ready? Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Now we're going to do 2 steps, 2 double advance, double retreat. Right foot forward, left foot back. Ready? 10 up, double advances, 10 double retreats. Go. 1. I'm not going to rush through this. 2. I want form versus speed. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9, 10. Good. Nice job. Again, don't go fast. Anybody can do anything fast, right? Do it slow. That way you can see your errors, you can see problems you want to fix, and that will make you better. I don't care what you're doing, slow will get you there and get you improvements much better than going fast well. Fast doesn't even look good, right? So nice and slow, nice and easy. Left foot forward, switch your feet. Double advance, double retreat, 10 forward, 10 back. Ready? Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Your back nice and straight. 8. Don't lean forward, don't lean off to the side. 9. Last 2. 10. Good. All right. As we've been doing, I want to do our cut form. All 8 of our cutting motions, a turn, and back. So it's 16 total moves. We run through all 8 cuts going forward, turn around, 7 cuts, and a thrust at the end, making 8. I'm going to try to fit it in the camera as I always do. Make sure you give yourself enough room. Even if you don't have as much room, you can do these all in place. Just make sure you switch your feet for every cut. We're going to do these twice. So feet shoulder width apart, natural pose, one hand on the saber, nice and comfortable, right? First cut's going to be around the head. I want you to do all of these cuts, both ones from the shoulder, right? So big, full cuts. We're not ending as a half cut. All right, ready? 1, 2, horizontal cut, 3, horizontal cut, 4, upward cut, 5, 6, straight down, 7, up with a gathering step. We're going to turn, foot out, saber out, 1, 2, horizontal, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, pull in, gathering step, thrust, 8. Nice. Let's do it one more time. Make sure I stay in frame for the side camera there. Natural pose. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Cool. So why do we do that? Get a drink of water while I'm talking for a second, because we're going to go into our cutting drill we're going to do today. You know, why all 8 cuts? Why all 8 attacks, right? Yes, it mimics our compass rose. I did that by design. We've modified it over the 3, 4, 5 years we've been doing this. Each of those cuts represent a different mechanical movement. Whether you're doing a descending cut, whether you're doing a horizontal midline cut, whether you're doing an ascending cut, a vertical strike straight down, or a lifting or ascending strike, vertical ascending strike, right? So those yes, I always say there's 360 different variations of those as you go around those cuts. But from a mechanical perspective, those 8 movements are the same. I don't really care what system you might study, because they all should have the same 8 movements, right? I mean, I've studied Western systems, I've studied Eastern systems, and we all had 8 cuts or 8 hits or 8 blocks. So there's only mechanically so many ways to run your weapon through a person. So that's why we do that form. All right, so for our cut drill, what we've been doing is we've been doing starting in a middle guard. We've been stepping forward and cutting, stepping back and cutting, right? I think a week and a half ago we did the descending diagonal cuts. Then we did the horizontal vertical cuts at a high line. Last week we did the upward cuts back and forth. So that actually covered 6 of the main cuts that we do. What I want to do today is actually start developing and bringing in defensive maneuvers with these cuts. So our drill is not just cut forward, cut back. It's, for the next couple weeks, it's going to be a block and retreat, a counter cut stepping forward, a block and retreat, a counter cut stepping forward, right? So that way we're working two different techniques, and it's kind of play into live action as well, right? So it helps develop that muscle memory. Tonight, we are going to, looking at my notes that are underneath the camera here, sorry. Tonight, we are going to do, high block and a forward downward cut. So, we're going to start in middle guard. Step back into high block. Step forward to cut down. Back into high block. Cut down. Back. Cut, right? Then we're going to switch sides. Back. Cut. We're going to do 10 each side. Then we're going to add in a second block to that. So a low block, high block, car strike. I'm trying to mimic what our opponents might do. So again, if someone is coming down with a direct cut to the top of our head, high block as we're retreating to get out of measure, counter attack, cut back to the top of their head as we walk into measure. So let's start off right foot forward, left foot back, middle guard. Step back, high block, up to the right. Step forward, cut down. 10, up and back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Switch feet, left foot forward. Step back with the left foot. Sabers up. Step forward, cut. 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Now, you can do those to the opposite side as well. So I can be right foot forward. I can step back, my hands to the inside. But look what it's doing, right? My attack is coming in. For me to counterattack, I actually have to bring my hands across my body because my lead leg is what's pushing my attack. So if I parry with my hands to my front leg, right, if I step back and parry to my outside, right, yes, I can do it, but look at the movement I've got to put in to do that as opposed to bring it up, push it forward. My body works in concert, right? So it's really simple. Block, attack. If I try to block, I kind of work against myself, which is why we did those this way. So what we're going to do now is a combination, 2 retreats, step forward and attack. So what we're going to do is we're going to act as if our opponent is attacking us low or feint low, strike to the head, or we're going to counterattack to the head. So we're going to low block, high block, counterattack. 1, 2, and back. Let me walk through that again. Low block inside, so we voided our leg, parried it. High block to the head. It's one of the more difficult because it's the longest move. So you look at people going low and trying to redirect to high because they know moving from here up takes time, right? So we'll step back. We'll do middle. 1, 2, 3. The opponent, remember, is going attack, attack, and you're giving yourself parry and repose, right? So hopefully you saw that in the side camera, or else you just saw my back. All right, so 2 defenses backwards, 1 attack forward, 10 each side. 1, set. 2, actually we'll just switch sides. 3, 4, 5. I'm going to go a little slower. 6, this is actually more. 7, 8, 9, 10. We're going to do that again because I think I went a little too fast in the beginning there. Sorry about that. 10 more. 2 defense as you go back. Step back, inside middle block. Step back, high block. Step forward, vertical strike to the head. Ready? 1. Now we've got our left foot forward. We're going to switch sides. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. I hope that made sense. All right, so I don't think we did that justice. I want to do that again. I'm going to rework that in a little bit, but let's go back and one more time. One more time. Sorry. You know me. You guys know me. I kind of wander. I want this to be right. So, right foot forward, left foot back. Step back inside middle block. Step back inside high block. Counter attack to the head, stepping forward. We are in middle guard. Step back inside low block. Step back inside high block. Step down, counter attack. 3. 4. 5. Step back inside low. Step back inside high. Step forward, counter attack. 6. Step back low. High. 7. 8. 9. 10. I think that was smoother. So hopefully you guys got it. We'll continue to do these and just replay it and run it back, right? It's a good move. Again, think about what your attacker is doing in that, right? My attacker is trying to open up my head. They're trying to get a head strike. So by doing that, they're trying to get me to think they're going to hit me in my leg, or they're going to try to hit me in my leg if they can. So they're going to come in for that low strike, knowing that their plan of action is here, here to the top of the head. Right? That's their plan. If I'm fighting my opponent, maybe that's my strategy. I want to get their blade down, and then I want to hit them in the head. So I don't want them out in middle guard so they can easily parry a high line attack. I want them like, oh, bang, top of the head, right? That's what your opponent's doing. Pulling you from two different target areas as far apart as you can. Low line inside, high line outside, virtually, right? So this move is a good muscle memory to start developing of block, block, right? Block, 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 right here, block, right? Now, can I go right up from here? Sure, right? Can I just step back, low inside block, and not retreat? Absolutely, right? You may have a wall behind you, you may have the out of bounds line behind you if you're in a tournament. You may not be able to go, you may have people behind you, something that prevents you from retreating, right? Fine, right? You can step back, block, block, strike. But again, realize that they just attack to your inside line. So if I'm not changing and redirecting to the opposite side to give myself the space for the counterattack, I end up positioning myself in this really weird, oh crap, I'm stepping into my opponent's attack. Not saying it won't work. Might. Works. Like I always say, great, good on you if it works. Awesome, right? You survived. Woo, good deal. Not saying it will though, right? So why am I going to set myself up for something that might not work? I want to give myself the best opportunity I can to be successful, which is why I like the fact of going from my strong, positioning to my other strong. If I can't step back, I may step out for that block, right? So we may go right foot forward, left foot back, middle guard. Inside low block, outside high block. Or, yeah, outside high block. Because now my opponent, again, is in this space. I control this space. We're going to talk about space a lot tonight in the next half. Then I can counterattack stepping back, or I can counterattack walking in, right? And my whole front is not as exposed. My backside might be, but I can defend that, right? So does that make sense? I hope it does, right? I don't want to press myself into a corner by not letting my body have an opportunity. So again, we're here inside block because my opponent's going for my lead leg. He's coming around or she's coming around, they're coming around to hit my lead leg. I'm getting it out of the way and parrying that attack. Now, I can step back if I want to continue linearly. If they're a bull in the china shop and charging forward, I may have to step back. I may want to step out to the side even for those folks, but again, out to the side or inside low block. If I don't have the room behind me, I can step out for my high block. From here, all I have to do is pull down, counterattack, bang. Right? And I can step in for that counterattack, or I can step back for that counterattack, depending on how much space I want to leave between me and my opponent. So I hope that drill makes sense. Let's do it one more time, because I like this drill actually, because it's not something we do enough of. You'll see me kind of inching forward because we really are doing 2 steps backwards and 1 step forward. So you are kind of retreating, so you may have to inch forward and cheat forward as you go. So middle guard. You're in middle guard, so they're going to the area you're leaving open, which maybe you're in a higher middle guard, that's fine. You want them to attack that leg, they want to attack your leg. 1, let's step out for these 10. 2, step forward for the attack. 3. Now we're going to do opposite sides, same sides, we just leave it forward. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 3 more. 1, 2, 3. 2 more. 1, 2, 3. Last one. 1, 2, 3. Good. Let's switch sides. Left foot forward. Or left foot forward. You can be in an inside middle guard, right, where my hands are in and not an out target. You can be in a forward middle guard. Right? You can be in a higher middle guard up to your opponent's forehead. Right? Again, you're trying to get them to attack. So we're going to do inside block, high block. This time we're going to step back. So left foot, we'll stick with going forward. That sets it up easier. 1, 2, 3. Switch my hands. Why did I switch my hands? Left foot forward. 1, 2, 3. Switch back. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 2 more. 1, 2, 3. Now I took kind of a shallow step on that one. If you've noticed, I'm sure you did. That's okay. Again, I want to think about different parts of the movement. I was thinking more about what's my next technique. And until you internalize these things, sometimes you have to think in steps. And that's totally cool, right? That's why we're here. It's all to practice and get better so that when we apply these techniques in whatever situation, right, we're not thinking about them then, we're just doing them then, right? So left foot forward. 2 more. Step back. 1. Step out with your right leg, high block. 2. Step forward. 3. Good. Switch back 1 last time. 1, 2, 3. Good. All right, we'll do more of that. Hopefully that made sense. I think it did. Let's put your saber down. I didn't turn on. Sorry about that. There's blue. I'll turn it back on when we get going. The next batch. All right. So conditioning. 20 push-ups, 40 sit-ups. Your pace. Right? If you did sit-ups, regular ones, then do knuckle, or then do oblique crunches. If you did, regular palms, try knuckles. Try it on your knees if you've never done knuckles before. Whatever you need to do, 20 and 40. Ready? And if you can do 10, do 10. If you can only do 5, do 5. But remember, every single time you do it, 1 more. Right? If you're doing that 50 push-up challenge, you'll get there easy, right, in a month. If you're doing this with me twice a week, you'll get there easy in a month. So, again, you got it. Ready? 20 push-ups, 40 sit-ups. Push-ups are awesome to build, I mean, every part of your upper body is working, right? You want to do wide grips, work the back heads of your shoulders. You want to do narrow grip, work in more your chest. You want to do diamonds, putting your hands into a diamond pattern in front of you, great. You want to do inverted, cool, right? You got 3 heads in your shoulder. These push-ups work all different 3, plus engage your back and your chest and everything else. So, 40 sit-ups. All right, again, your pace, your techniques, right? I want you guys to get stuff out of this. Don't do it because I'm telling you to, but do it because I'm telling you to. And we'll all get better as we go, right? These natural body exercises will really, if you do them and continue to do them, you will see benefits, right? You will see improvements. You'll see definition, tone, muscle development, everything across the board. All right, so what are we talking about tonight? We're going to talk about space tonight. And then we're going to talk about techniques of voiding the leg to a counterattack, either a thrust or a downward vertical strike. Similar to what we were just doing. We've done this in class a bit. Quite honestly, and it's an absolutely valid technique, right? You don't see it too much, but people do like to, what we just call jokingly say, sniping the legs, right? Cutting out at your leg. Try and hit that leg, right? What they're trying to do by that is get into your space as far out as they can. So let's talk for 30 seconds about space, right? I'll say, like, fencing is a lot of things. Fighting is a lot of things. It's footwork. It's understanding distancing. It's understanding timing. Yes, it's all those things. It's knowing a series of techniques and having a strategy in mind. It's being able to read your opponent and being observant to your opponent, right? And being aware of your surroundings. Well, it's also about managing your space. And I guess you could kind of sum all of those things up into managing your space. You could probably sum all of those things up into each other as well, right? You can replace managing your space with, distance management, right? It's all the same thing. I guess in a way it really is, right? Pro tip, as Rocky would say, it's all the same thing. Right? So, space. I have a bubble of space around me. I know this bubble, right? I know where I am relative to the edges. I know, or I should be learning, right? You all should be learning, how far it takes me to step in and connect the end of my saber or my sword or whatever I'm doing, or my fist or my foot, to my opponent. As you practice techniques with a partner, right, or when you practice them on yourself against a mirror or a shadow, you should start to look at distancing. You should start to look at space and how you're managing that space. What am I doing to get the maximum impact, the maximum attacking area out of my space, while at the same time not allowing my opponent in? Because remember, at the same time I'm trying to control my space and influence my opponent is trying to do the exact same thing to me. They want to control that space. And arguably, right, whomever controls that space is going to win that point, or going to win that match, or land that blow, or finish that encounter, right? So what you want to be able to understand is, as you practice techniques, start to understand, what does my body take up, right? Where am I relative to my opponent? Where am I relative to the weapon I have in my hand? Where am I relative to their attack coming at me, right? We talked a lot in class about, how far do you retreat when you retreat out of measure to your opponent? Well, if my opponent's coming down and striking to the top of my head, and they come down and they just miss my head, they're going to perceive that they should have landed that attack. Heck, I do that, right? Man, I should have hit him. Why didn't I hit him? Oh, I should have hit him, right? You always want, you think that, because psychologically they're in what I think is the right measure where they should have gotten hit, right? As my opponent, or as me as an opponent, right? I want to get out just enough where I make them think I should have hit them. If I jump back, that saber's or that sword or that fist is coming at me, and I jump back, I immediately tell my opponent, you missed. And that will egg them on and encourage them to counterattack you, right? So they'll redouble their efforts to get that attack in. So space is not only what do I need to do to land, it's how do I manage that space to continually try to control my opponent. That's a lot, a little esoteric, sorry. Again, I think, learning how you can learn distance and measure and your space and how you control it, that will make you a better fighter. That'll make you a more balanced person, right? Walking around, weaving in and out of people. We used to live in New York City, right? We always used to weave in and out of people, right? You don't want to bump into somebody, and there are thousands, not now, but there are thousands of people on the streets of Manhattan, right? And you want to try to understand space so I don't get hit. So you kind of walk through that. We used to test ourselves every once in a while, going through and not getting hit and weaving through heavy traffic areas, people traffic. Anyway, when you're in a counter, right, remember, what is that space around me? How can I move it? How can I manipulate that space or leverage or create that space, right, to influence my opponent's actions? So, what I want to talk about today, the technique is just going to be a slip, right? My right foot's going to be out. I'm going to slip that foot back, right? As I slip that foot back, we're going to kind of work from the bottom up. We're going to start slipping the foot, slipping the core, and then with the counterattack. So if I'm out, I want my opponent to strike at my leg, right? Do the leg snipe, slip that foot back. All I'm doing is bringing my front foot even with my back. Because again, look at the space that's around me. If my opponent is just trying to maintain their space to just hit my leg, by slipping that out, my leg is not there and that space is no longer there for them, right? So from the lower ground, I want to slip my foot. You'll see some people do this when they slip. Bring it all the way back. Fine, right? To be honest with you, you don't really get any benefit by bringing your foot back this extra 2 feet because the wall of space, the gap really starts here. Because if my opponent was going for my inside leg, right, for them to hit me here, their hands are there, which means their body is there, which means I could have hit them without even moving, right? So if I want to slip that attack, I don't want to go back here because to move my leg back to counterattack, this movement is wasted space, wasted time, right? It takes too long, so I do this to counterattack. Slip to here. Because again, look at what I'm doing in the side here. I'm slipping. Is my upper body moving? Slightly, right? A little bit, just to maintain balance and a good center of gravity. But I'm bringing my foot back in. Now for this counterattack, we're also going to bring our arms up, right? So, opponent comes in, strike, slip. Now I'm almost this flat plane, almost. A little bit canted forward, but almost flat plane. So that when I go forward, I just have to fall into the attack. Right, so it's middle guard, slip, counterattack. Let's just look at the slip for a second. I'm going to put this down. All right, so we're here. We're out, good middle guard, right foot forward, left foot back, just like our footwork drill. Pull that foot back. Back out. Pull back. We're going to do this a few times, so do it with me. Out to guard, pull back. Forward, 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Grab your saber again. If you didn't let go of it, cool. Middle guard. Pull that leg back and pull your saber back to your shoulder. Very relaxed, by the way. This is our shoulder guard that we practice, right? Do this on purpose. Nice and relaxed. All I'm doing, watch the side, is bending my elbow in. I'm not forcing myself up high. I'm not trying to squeeze it in. I'm just bending my arm back. as efficient of a move as I can, so that when I step forward, I just have to repeat that technique in reverse. Bang. 1, let's do this 5 times. Out to middle guard. Ready? Slip, tap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I said 5. This is a great time for you to practice the action of throwing your blade, your cutout. We're going to do a couple throwing cuts Thursday. We're going to do a couple throwing cuts. What I mean by that is cuts that are coming out from a horizontal plane. I'm not coming down. I'm not going up. I'm coming out toward my opponent. It's not always a thrust. I can get some very nice cutting actions by pushing that and throwing that attack forward. I'm sure somebody's going to have an issue with the term throwing. Fine, message me, we'll talk about it. I don't care. So, right foot forward, left foot back. Slip, push. When you do, make sure that front foot does not land before your blade connects with your opponent. I don't want to do this, because look what happens. I come back out of guard. If I step and then strike, I'm in guard. I'm in measure to my opponent. I'm not controlling that space, because this is a threat my opponent has to deal with. Right? I'm moving my space forward by the action of my blade. I'm moving my space forward by the action of my blade. If I step my body first, I'm not pushing my space forward. I'm letting him come into, I'm putting myself in the area for attack. So I don't want to do that. Slip, right strike. So right when that blade hits and connects to my opponent is when I want my footwork to go. So I drive in my attack. So 2 more times. Slip, out, 1 more. Up, out. Switch our feet. So we're teaching right hand on top, right hand forward. So right-handed grip. Left foot forward. I can be in an inside middle guard. Hands are back inside my body, right? But look at what I'm kind of restricting myself. I'm already drawing my opponent into my core this way. Right? So let's be out and out, forward middle guard, so our hands are forward. Step. Notice I pull back to the side I want to attack from, because I want to get that attack with my hips. 1, let's do this 5 times. 2, slip. 3, slip. 4, slip. 5, right? Can I lunge in and lean in? Absolutely, right? Again, you're managing and controlling the space, and my movements are going to be influenced by what my opponent is doing, right? Part of this is awareness. Part of this is understanding, where is my opponent? Did they come in for the attack? And are they doing this? Right? Or are they leaning in for the attack? Right? Where are they positioning themselves? Because my counterattack has to take that into account. So, all right. Slipping the torso. So what we did here is we pulled our leg back, right? But we kind of kept our torso in the same plane as our lower body, right? So we kept a nice straight, we even kind of canted a little bit forward, so that as we slipped, we kind of had, like if you look, I'm kind of up on the balls of my feet. I'm not on my toes, but I'm on the ball of my feet, so that when I go into my counterattack, I'm already in that movement forward, right? My momentum, my potential energy is there to go forward. So strap. But what I'm not doing is I'm not clearing my torso, right? So if my opponent's going for my leg, great. I've cleared that space. They've come through, right? Let's go up a little higher up the body. So now my opponent is attacking my torso, right? They're coming in for a striking cut, or they're coming in for a thrusting lunge, a lunge with a thrust, right? So they want to get into my space quickly forward. I want to get this torso. So they don't care about my front leg, right? They're coming into my space here. They want to attack with a thrust, or they want to come in with a horizontal cut. What I want to do is I want to move this midsection out of the way and create that gap. The same way I avoided my leg and created this space, right? I want to create that space in my midsection. We've done this in class with the void, right? If you take my yoga class before this, and you all should, If you take a yoga class before this, one of our poses is that void, and it's actually the movement of the counterattack that we're going to do. So what I want us to do, it's the same slip of the leg, right? But I'm actually going to throw my hips back so that I create a gap in my core area, right? So if I just slip the leg, right? I wish I could do this somehow. Maybe we'll try it this way, right? So coming out from the camera, right, you can see that it's a direct line. It should be at least a direct line to my core, right? I'm out in guard, so they come in for the strike, slip. That you should see that space opening up. I think I can see it as well, right? So what I want now is I want to show that the core is opening up. So as I slip, I throw my butt back, right? So this gap opens up, and hopefully, right, if I suck in my gut a little bit, right, you're going to see that gap space open up in my core. So it's here. Now, if I keep my blade in the middle of my body, it's going to be in the way, right? So I need to get my blade up out of the way. So that way I create this void. I really want to suck my opponent in. As they come in, we want that nice whooshing sound when they don't hit us. Whoosh pass, or they go, oh, wait, and they want to reach in for that last little bit of thrust, which they're probably off balance for anyway. All right, long sword grab it, pull it, whack them in the head. Can't do that with lightsaber. Anyway, so we're here. Void, create that gap, open that space up, right? And we're going to strike down. What I want to do is I want to do all that at once, right? So I want to bang. So let's set this up a little bit differently. Because if I'm in middle guard, let's go back to our basis of what's the highest probability attack, right? We talked about this a couple weeks ago. If I'm in middle guard, what's the probability my opponent's going to thrust at me without impacting my blade? Pretty minimal, right? They've got to move my blade because my blade's in the middle. Plain and simple, right? I'm not encouraging them to attack that way. Could they come around in a wide sweeping? Sure, but I'm still going to hold my blade out and strike at them. Because again, I'm controlling that space. So let's go to a different guard and encourage that thrust. So let's go to a high guard. So left foot forward, right foot back, high guard. We covered this in the guard video. If you haven't watched it, watch it. But if you haven't watched it, hips are kind of squared up. It's the only time I let you square your hips up really is in this high guard, right? Arms are up over my head. I'm not holding it like a tail. I'm not holding it out like a unicorn, right? My blade's back at a nice angle, comfortable angle. I'm looking through my arms. My arms are not in front of my, not peeking around it. It's not a shoulder guard, right? I'm not peeking around. It's up and nice and relaxed. This, believe it or not, is a lot more relaxed than this. This should feel very uncomfortable, right? This feels very relaxed. My arms are up. Joints are nice and open and loose. I'm not winging out to the side. I'm not leaning forward. Hopefully you can see this is a great target. Someone gives you that elbow out, take it. Here. So what I'm doing is I've created this flat plane. I'm going to try to do it in the camera. This flat plane which encourages my opponent to attack. What I want them to do is thrust or come in for an attack. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same slip, but I'm going to tuck that back, butt back, create that void as I counterattack to the head. So this is what we're going to do together. So nice void. My foot was here. I'm on a middle line here. I don't know if you can see it in the thing, but it's kind of a, here are the tape marks. My back foot's on the tape. My front foot's on the middle line. So it's about 2.5 foot stride. So about 2 foot stride between in the middle line here. My torso, that means, is right about 1.5 foot forward, right? Feet come back, torso comes back where it's even with the back line, at least it should be by the camera. So I've really brought my body back almost 1.5 foot from where my opponent thought it was. So again, if they're not trying to overextend their thrust or cut with the, too far down their blade, they're going to try to attack you with the upper third of the blade if they're doing an attack, or they're going to try to thrust at you where it's a 3 inches of penetration, right? General rule, right? Because I want to be, again, I need to maintain my space as the attacker, so I want to get in so I can get out. So I want to poke, penetrate, and withdraw. Shut up, Nate. So, left foot forward, high guard. The thrust is going to come here. Here's my gut. So now I'm a good 12 inches away from where that thrust would be. So let's do that together. Left foot forward, high guard. Step back, just do the void, and just do the move. Look what hopefully you're going to feel this right now. You want to go forward. Your body wants to go forward. I can't fall because I'm going to fall on my face, right? But my body wants to move into my attacker. So, void. Let's do it one more time together. Void. Put your right foot forward, high guard. Void. Same thing. Open that space up. Now let's add in the counterattack. All we're doing is as we go back, our blade goes down. So left foot forward, high guard. We're here. So what I might do, pause, tangent, as always. I'm in middle guard. I want to pull my attacker in. I'm going to step back into high guard. That movement should start their energy forward. I'm controlling the pace. It's chess match, right? I want to control my opponent's actions. At least I want them to think they're doing what they want to do. Now they're doing the same thing to me, so whatever. Up into high guard. That starts them coming forward. As they do, and they take my invitation and attack, I void and strike down to the top of their head. Let's do that again. Left foot forward. I'm sorry. We're going through the whole action. Right foot forward, middle guard. Step back into high guard. Void, counterattack. 3 moves. Middle guard. Back into high guard. Void, counterattack. So really 4 discrete moves. We're doing the void and the counterattack simultaneously. I like this move. Right? If I just go across my opponent, you guys have seen me do this. I kind of enjoy doing it. It works like once every month with the same person. If I don't throw it all the time, it works every once in a while. But I just might go into high guard and wait for them to attack. When they go to attack, I strike down, void, and hit the top of the head. Again, it works for somebody that I haven't done it against. If I do it against them more than once, they're going to be like, yeah, I know what you're going to do. I'm not going to attack you the way you want. So you have to think about getting your opponent to do what you want them to do. So again, middle guard, they're not going to attack. Step back into high guard, pull them into you as they come in. Step back, make that void, counterattack to the head. Bang. Now, when I'm done, I want to step back one more step. Because again, I want it really clear, right? Let's do all 3, what is that? Let's do it all to the step out at the end. Nice and slow, together. Middle guard, step back into high guard. Void back, create that gap, strike to the head, step back with left foot forward, right foot forward. Right. One more time. Right foot forward, middle guard. High guard, strike, close, back up. One more time, then we're going to switch sides. Right foot forward, step back, void, strike, close. I'm doing it slow, we're doing it in successive movements, purposefully. I want you to learn and practice the movements so that when you're fighting with someone, you can be like, and it will just be kind of almost become one fluid set of movements for that encounter, for that exchange. Right? One more time, right foot forward, then we're going to switch to the opposite side. Right foot forward, ready? Step back into high guard. Void, counterattack. Step back, clear, step out. You can step back as many steps as you need to. You can step out to the side. Just don't leave that part out. I too often leave that part out. Don't leave that part out. Right? Switch feet. Turn this on. Why not? Left foot forward, middle guard. So again, my natural stance with middle guard, left foot forward, because my right hand is leading, I'm not extending my right hand. So here, it's a little above in front of this line, right? It's a lot in front of the line. So again, just by left foot forward, my shoulder moving back pulls my farthest forward, so it's very, very easy to just do into this guarded stance, this guarded middle stance, right? Encourage your opponent, right? You want it now. We're going to be out in forward middle guard like this, right? Step back, void, strike, close, retreat. One more time, 2 more times. Never trust the trainer that says one more time. Step back, strike, retreat. Again, left foot forward, forward middle guard, step back, strike, oh, sorry. I did that wrong. Step back into high guard, strike. strike down, void, close. See, that's what happens when you try to rush through a technique. You shortcut it. Don't shortcut it. Don't do what I just did wrong. Don't shortcut the techniques. All right, one more time. Left foot forward, middle guard. Step back into high guard. Draw that opponent in. Make that void. Counterattack to the head. Step back and close. Now, we did that with a stepping back into high guard and counterattack with a downward vertical strike to the head. Can you do that with other strikes? Absolutely, right? But you got to think about the guards you're in and what you're doing to get to your opponent. I can do that with a stop thrust. Remember kata, right? A stop where I thrust in, bang, poke them. It's almost a strike, but it's coming from a different position. So if someone is really coming in and attacking me, and maybe I am in a low guard, and I want to do that same void, I can start in rear low guard, track them in, and yes, I can do the same bang movements. I could also, if I'm in an inside middle guard and someone wants to come in, I can thrust and create that same void, right? So we've talked about, and we will talk more about primary or key cuts for a given guard, stance, invitation, kamae, posture, whatever you want to call it, right? Again, think about, what's the most efficient thing that I can do? Well, if I want to pull them in and I want to do this technique, I want to give them a target area. So I might see them kind of jumping, ready to go, right? Like you're hooking a fish and pulling, I don't fish, but, right? Like you're pulling a line back, right? Pulling back. Then we're going to say, ooh, ooh. They're going to fall right into the trap of bang, counterattack. Again, it'll work. Try it, practice with it. Tell your opponent you're practicing it. Let them feel it as well. So not only do we talk about space, not only do we talk about movement and creating space and using space, we're also talking about driving intention in our opponents, right? Really kind of encouraging them to do certain movements and encouraging them to hit them where we want. I want to keep these to an hour. We're just about at the top of the hour. If you have more questions on this, let me know. Hit me up in a message, and I will answer whatever questions you have as best that I can. And if I can demo it on Thursday, I will. Right? On Thursday, I want to kind of continue this thread. And what are we talking about on Thursday? The throwing strike. So not only are we going to go up to we were here in high guard for our counterattack today. I want to be in shoulder guard when we do this on Thursday. So I can't. I'm more pushing my attacks out, like I mentioned before, these throwing strikes. So I can do the same voiding, but again, I'm not making this big arc of attack. It's a linear attack. It is a vertical attack, or sorry, horizontal attack out from my body. So we'll go through 2 or 3 different, probably just 2 different attacks from that shoulder guard, right? From that where I brought them up, even if it's a low guard, but again, my blade is back and I got my arm back and kind of almost cocked in position to throw back out, right? It's like throwing a cross, right? Jab, 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 cross. Very similar, right? So we'll talk more about that on Thursday. That being said, what do we do at the end of class now? Plank. 1 minute, plank. You guys can do it. Y'all can do it. I know you can. If you fall on your face in 30 seconds, that's cool. Don't fall on your face. But remember, every time you do this, try to push yourself. For plank, go an extra 5 seconds every single time you do it. 2 different ways you can do it. Up on your arms, which again is real good skeletal alignment from your wrist up to your shoulder. So it actually is very supportive from a skeletal perspective. So it's almost like you got a structure in there to keep you in place. That helps. But if you're going to do that, make sure you keep your core nice and tight and your back and legs nice and straight in a line. If you go down in your forearms, you create this kind of triangle, which again, good structure, but you're missing a leg, right, of the triangle. So what you got to do is that actually helps you to work your shoulders and chest a little bit more with that in addition to your core. So take it whichever way you want to do it. I'm going to go on my forearms today. We're going to go for a minute, and then we're going to do our closing stretching routine. So don't kill out too quick. So, ready? Go! should talk while we're doing this. So the sound kind of sucks, I know. I will fix that. We have a couple different options, but we'll have some good stuff for Thursday, I hope. Is it bad that I forgot where we started? I think this is about 20 seconds. So I think we started on my clock about 30 seconds after the minute. So that means we got another 30 seconds to go, starting now. You can do it. I know you can. If you only went 30 seconds last week, push it another 5 seconds now. Stay and hold it. You are now at 40 seconds. So you can do it. Right? Breathe. Don't forget to breathe. That's why I talk, right? So I breathe. That's why I make noises when I fight, because I can breathe, right? If I don't, I end up holding my breath too much. So 5 more seconds and we're at a minute. 4, 3, 2, 1, and that's a minute. Actually, it was a minute and a few seconds. So you did it, or you went as far as you could, so congratulations, I'm happy for you guys. I have fun doing this. I hope you guys enjoy it as well. If there is anything you want to see shown, done, taught, anything we did in class before, or anything we haven't done in class yet, you read about or saw, whatever, hit me up and I'm happy to incorporate into an upcoming lesson. With that, a couple quick things. Thursday we'll do this again. Come to the Longsword Yoga class and then stay for this. Sunday night we're going to do a little gathering of a Zoom session that we have for the school now. So everybody can just kind of come in and chat. We'll do it around 6 o'clock. I'll put an invite out for that. All are welcome, right? But I think that's it. Thank you all very much. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had a good workout. And keep moving. Stay connected. I said this on the previously. If you need to talk with somebody, reach out. You have plenty of opportunities. Everybody's out here. If you're going through something, odds are somebody else is too, and it's always good to talk to somebody. So don't feel like you're in this alone. You're not. Thanks everybody for staying in and watching. I appreciate it. And we'll see you on Thursday. Thanks.